you doing? Wavy.
I'm good.
Wavy. Welcome back, Wavy, ladies and gentlemen. Y'all know where we at.
Yo, what's wavy, baby? Welcome back to the Wavy Cave from Wavy Wednesdays. And I'm just going to get straight into it today, right? Because who hasn't said that the world is changing at an unprecedented rate? Who has not communicated the idea that the world in 2025 and the world in 1975 are just so astronomically different and perhaps more different than any 50-year period has been in recorded history, at the very least in modern history, right? And because of that, so much of the rules of engagement of society are just like out the window, right? So it's very hard to talk to older people who have grown up in a fundamentally very, very, very different world than the one that we're experiencing currently, for them to understand what the fuck is going on, right? Like, even on a basic mean cultural level, right? Like, these people are not on TikTok. It's like having a society where half of the people don't go outside. Like, half of the people, their entire frame of reference is only their house and the houses of other people that they know. But they've never been in a public space, and they've certainly never been to a party, right? Like, imagine that is your ruling class. Like, imagine those people are the people who are telling you how to live your life and what to do, right? And that's how I feel. It's an analogy for the internet, right? Like, niggas who have never been on TikTok, niggas who don't know the power of TikTok and streaming and stuff like that, don't know how ubiquitous that is in 2025, don't know how influential streamers are and TikTokers are. You end up with shit like the TikTok man. You know, where you got this nigga being like, are you a Chinese spy? No, nigga, I'm from Singapore. Like, yeah, but you sir look Chinese. You sure you're not Chinese? Like, nigga, I'm pretty sure that I know I'm not from China. I told you I'm from Singapore. Yeah, but the Chinese government might be paying you out of fucking Singapore, nigga. You can't trick me, nigga. You can't. I know everything, you know? And it's a very backwards way to live. It's a very backwards power structure. Because, yeah, there are things that the older people know that we don't know, you feel me? Like how to file taxes, I guess, even though TurboTax does make that very, very easy these days. But point being is everybody has some sort of experience that's valid, right? And to devalue somebody else's experience based on their age, based on their geographic location, based on their ethnicity is something that I feel like as a race we've kind of realized is not the best thing to do, right? Racism, gender discrimination, all that kind of stuff. It's kind of passe, right? We've kind of gone through those growing pains and we've realized that shit just not cool no more. You feel me? So for me, as somebody who was bright-eyed and bushy-tailed in 2020, just getting ready to graduate university, getting ready to step out into the real world and make some real change with my real job, to be then told that, hey, actually, the whole world's over. Like, it's just, we're just going to take a quick pause. Everything's going to get shut down. Everything, right? Has any generation experienced on like a global scale? Because of course, you know, you have outbreaks of different things in different places. Like I've experienced military lockdown, state of emergency. That's what it is. 2, actually, in my lifetime. But it's very different when it seems like the entire world, all the systems that you assumed were infallible and were structured to actually help and protect you, not only fail, but expose themselves as systems that are actually not geared to help anybody but the oligarch, aristocrat, billionaire class, you start to look at the world a little differently, you know? And I wouldn't consider myself nihilistic in any sense of the word, right? But at the same time, you gotta be honest, right? You gotta be real. You gotta be truthful and say that, like, the way that things worked even 5 years ago, 10 years ago is just not the way things work now. And for all these boomers and Gen Xers to be like, oh, you just gotta pull up your bootstraps, you just gotta work hard, you just gotta not drink that $8 coffee and not drink your avocado toast and you'll be able to save up for a house. And it's like, well, yeah, sure. But then when I do save up for the house, I'm just gonna end up in more debt for the next 30 years paying off this mortgage to a bank system that has failed multiple times in the past 2 decades, not to mention the housing crash of 2008 that just fucked over millions of people, you feel me, to then have faith to trust this system that I've seen fail so many times, unequivocally, in my face. Come on, bro. Like, I think that our parents' generation or the older generations were a little bit more comfortable being lied to. Little lies, you feel me? Little lies that they knew probably weren't true at the time, but money's flowing well. It's post-World War II. Europe is a steaming pile of rubble that needs America to rebuild it. So they're like, yeah, you can lie and say that, yeah, we're going to, you know, Vietnam to like spread capitalism and shit. We know that's not the truth, but I can get a 57 Monte Carlo or Bel Air for like $3,000, so the government can do what it wants. But now it's affecting more people, and more people are realizing that this shit cap, and more people are not okay with the fact that this shit is capped. You feel me? Because the social agreements have changed. It used to be, okay, you go to school, you listen to the rules, you work hard, you're polite, you get your money, you get your house, you get your car, you get your wife, you get your kids, and you're good, right? Now, the social agreement is like, shut up, you work hard, shut up, you shut up, you work really hard, you shut up, you work extremely hard, you don't post on social media, you work hard, you shut the fuck up, you work hard, you don't talk back ever, you shut the fuck up, you work really hard, and maybe you'll be able to pay off your student loans before you die. Maybe. No guarantees. You're definitely not buying a fucking house, nigga, and you are most certainly not starting a family. Absolutely fucking not. And this is not to say that it's impossible to do those things in today's economy, today's world. What I'm trying to say is the agreements, the underlying assumptions that we make about society fundamentally changed, right? We're all on this dopamine high where everything is instant because the 20th century was unprecedentedly prosperous, right? We saw rates of growth that have never been seen in history ever because of the Industrial Revolution, among other things like America raping and pillaging half the known world, but that's for a different video. And, you know, Europe is in there too. I don't think y'all can get away with France. I see y'all too. And now, because you realized, hey, you know, maybe killing millions of people so that 6 people can have a cool flip phone is not the way to orient one society. Maybe that's a little fucked up. Now that that's more of a prevailing sentiment, things are moving and shaking in ways that they haven't moved and shaken before. And because of that, we're not going to see the amount of GDP growth, record-breaking shits that we saw over the past century. We're just not. I don't think anybody's gonna break Usain Bolt's record in my lifetime. I think that shit's gonna stand for a while. I stand to be proven wrong. I love to be proven wrong. But until then, I'm gonna state my case. And I think that we've hit the peak. We saw peak human performance. We're at the top of the mountain, and it's going to be a slow, steady decline down that mountain until God knows when. And that's not an issue. But to talk to my parents or to talk to older people about what we're going through and for them to belittle our struggles or our accomplishments because of their experiences or their accomplishments is very, very, very frustrating. And it removes, I think personally, an entire swath of very necessary context for people who grew up post 2000s, right? Like so many of the systems that we follow have fallen, bars, and failed. And so we're expected to just continue following a failing system? Obviously not, right? It's very, very, very difficult to rationalize waking up, going to a cubicle, working a 9-to-5 job for nothing. For niggas to make taxpayer money so they can bomb fucking Palestine and Ukraine or Russia, right? It was hard to do in the 90s. And of course, you had people making movies like Fight Club and, Workaholics or Office Space, things like that. But now we have Severance, which is, if not entirely more dystopian, I don't even know what is, right? And I really do want to get to a point where we can communicate across generations, where the Gen Xers can understand what the Gen Zers are going through, the Boomers can understand the Gen Alphas, because those, unfortunately, are the power brokers in our world right now. And if we aren't able to communicate our experiences to them, nothing is going to change. You know, the world is getting hotter, and so am I. And so before I burn the world down with my extreme attractiveness, let's make a change for the better. How does that sound? That sound stupid? Yeah. But it's necessary stupid. Sometimes you gotta do stupid shit for smart shit to happen. That's a quote. Put it on a t-shirt. Or don't. Anyway. Diatribe over. I'm hopping off my soapbox. Hopefully something I said resonated or stuck out to you, because like, I want relationships to improve. I want my personal relationship with my mother to improve. And I feel like it's kind of hard for that to happen if she doesn't look at me as more than a stupid fucking kid who is just fucking around in a world that's built for his success, you know? But maybe that's too much information. I don't know. Who's to say? I don't know what socially acceptable things are and aren't anymore, because our social contract, our social fabric is just gone. I think about that when I record in public too. Like, can I just walk up to somebody's dinner table like with the camera? Like, if I have enough social capital, can I just walk into someone's dinner with a camera and just interject like that? That is a question I need to have answered by the end of 2025. That's a social experiment. So stay tuned for that, because that's definitely coming soon. And stay wavy. What's wavy, baby? Welcome back to another exemplary episode of Wavy Weekly, man. I am just really overjoyed to be here with my esteemed colleague, Mr. Mansour Akins. You know, be able to show y'all what's good, tell y'all what's up, and, you know, keep having the conversation, right? Because it's like, I don't know what it is about our parents' generation or the generation before us that seems so comfortable with just like regurgitating these lies that they've been sold and they've been told, and then pushing these lies onto us. Like, for example, hair, right? That's a big fucking point of contention between me and like my grandma, right? Every time I see her, I'm fucking 29. I've had these fucking locks since 2014, you know? And every time I see her, the first thing that she's gonna say is, "Hi, Dare, what are you doing with your hair?"
Well, I mean, I feel like the hair thing is like more so cultural.
But it's cultural, and sorry to cut you off.
No.
But like, it's cultural in the sense that it was like a survival mechanism, right? So it's like, Rasta is associated with a certain type of individual, right? Who might not be fit for office work or like be a high prestigious individual in society. So they associate the hair with those features or those traits and think that they're linked when they're really not, you know? And which is why the generation gaps are so interesting to me, because like, for example, right, when I was in high school, we couldn't have afros. Like, it was against the school rules for children. And mind you, this is a country of 2 million people, and it's 43% black and like 45% Indian, right? So it's not a minority problem. And this is like one of the best schools in the country. And there's a rule, like it's enforced by the teachers, that if you're a black person, you can't have braids, you can't have locks, you can't have cane rows, and you can't grow your hair long. And so for me, that's just like irredeemable bullshit.
Yeah.
Just asinine stupidity. Because the principal is a nigga, bro. The principal is a black man telling another black man, you can't have long hair. So a bunch of me and my friends, when we were in school, we said, fuck that shit, bro. If my shit is neat, my shit is combed, I'm wearing my hair how the fuck I want to wear it, bro. And like, most of the niggas, like 75-80% of the niggas who are like in that group now lock their hair up. Because it's just like, there are certain things, traditions and cultures and things that I think should be revered and, you know, held to a high standard, like, you know, making sure you're well groomed, right?
Yeah.
Great, cool. I can get behind that, right? But to the point where it's like, you can't go outside if you haven't had a haircut in like 4 weeks. Like, you're just kind of taking that shit a little bit far. You feel me?
Yeah. That's kind of how I see it. Because I guess just having short hair was just more respected.
Right.
But I was just like, nah. And it got to the point that I was like, bro, it's just a waste of time. It's like, so we're just going to argue about my hair. Then it was like, he kind of left it alone, but then it...
You know, and so like, and that's just a small way in which I feel like we can see the generational differences. Because like our parents' generation, they just kind of revere and respect different things. And they don't, and I think one of the big issues is that they don't like see our experiences as valid, right? They only kind of take what they've experienced and they don't acknowledge how much the world has changed, particularly in the last 5 years, but definitely the last like 20, 30 years, you know? Like, there are entire industries that existed that you could be proficient at, that you could raise a family on. Like, for example, being a taxi driver. Like, you could raise a family on a taxi driver salary in the 90s, early 2000s and shit. You can't do that in 2025, you know?
You can.
To the same standard?
To the same standard. My dad does it. Literally.
But, so, is he working? Because it's like...
Not only taxi, just 24/7.
Well, yeah, but 24/7.
Yeah, you get like Sunday off. Yeah, I mean, it's possible. It's just like this man, again, cultural. Like, there are certain things that should be held to a high standard in culture because, like, this man could work and not spend his money on, like, nothing for like 7 months. When I say nothing, I mean the biggest purchase is just food.
Right.
And after that, it's like, yeah, rent is this. But that's just...
But do you think that it's as easy to do that today as it was like 20 years ago?
Well, no, because the American culture, I feel like it has gotten way more sporadic in the past 20 years. And I feel like for my father, his...
What do you mean by sporadic?
Like the interest, for example, Hello Kitty. That fucked up teenage. Nah, Hello Kitty was crazy back in the day when it first came out, but recently, a few months ago to a few years ago, Hello Kitty booms like sometime a year, every couple years.
Yeah.
And like it just captures like a group of 4 million people. I'm dead ass, bro. And they'll go from not knowing what Hello Kitty is to like, I want a Hello Kitty plushie, I want a Hello Kitty cup, and it's mainly like teenage girls.
Right.
They'll be chilling doing other shit, then out of nowhere, Hello Kitty. So it's like that, and then it's the same thing with adults, because it's like, let's say you're a guy, and you on Instagram, you see one good looking card, then you like, damn, you see another good looking card. The next thing you know, you a card modding guy.
Right.
That's not happening to someone like my father. Like he's gonna stick to his same purchases until he check.
Right.
He not buying shit else. He works on his houses in Africa.
Right.
This nigga pays the bills, buys food, get little technological things, fixes the crib up.
Right.
All I'm saying is this nigga bought a blow up dog. It wouldn't be his. Like, we just not what we wouldn't say. We wouldn't even assume. We would just be like, yo, like that shit. You got the wrong Addy, bro. Like we don't buy shit. We don't even purchase shit. We don't even know how to buy shit, bro. Like I remember a treadmill. I bought a treadmill for my stepmom on Amazon. He was just like, bro, like you definitely got the wrong house. I don't even know how to make this. Like he was thinking that he had to make it, and shit. So it's like, yeah, culturally, like. Americans in the past 20 years is just like iPhone 5 to iPhone 15, 16, shove it up your ass, bro. It's like it's a wall and it's just getting thicker and thicker. But videos like these, hopefully that you show your grandma. Sorry about the curse. And you just you get her to understand that like there is a wall, but the biggest way to thin the wall is just to like kind of slowly just like well. Don't try to teach your grandma about Instagram. It's not going to work. Teach her about why I use Instagram. Well, sometimes I need social interaction. You know, my friends are far, so we communicate on this app.
Right.
Sometimes I want to show them what I'm eating. Sometimes I want to show them what I'm drinking, my nice tea.
Yeah.
And I take a picture, I post it up. Everyone can see it.
Right.
They should understand that.
Do you have those types of conversation with your dad? Like, what's
Fuck no. Because my dad don't give a fuck. Again, it's cultural. Sometimes, bro, you have parents who are just culturally mean. Like, culturally, they don't give a fuck. You could try to say, yo, Dad, you screamed at me earlier, it hurt my feelings. And for some parents, that might like strike and they'll be like, oh, I'm sorry.
Right.
But then for like a parent like my dad, I'm like, bro, shut your bitch ass. And like just smack you again. Probably not say shut your bitch ass. But he will like discipline you again. Like it's a difference between having an American parent and like any different parent.
Do you remember the story that you had shared about your dad? I think he got cut on his leg. You remember that story?
Mm-hmm.
You want to share that story?
Hell yeah. So my dad was younger. Like he was working on a farm and shit. And this is how to show you like, culturally sometimes niggas is just mean. The men and the women. Like my dad. So let's act like this is a knife. So he's like, he's working and shit. He cutting the branches and all of that. Can they see? He cutting the branches and shit. And so like, I guess he was real down low trying to cut something. And he ended up going like this. And cutting his leg open. Like, not even like a little cut. Like, he cut his shit open. And so, okay, he's confused. He's a child. Like, he's in shock, so he's not crying yet. And he's just, like, walking with his leg. And then, like, I guess a healing practice back then was to grab fresh soil and just, like, smear on there to stop the bleeding from getting too bad.
Right.
So he did that, and then he wrapped it up. And then his mom seen that his eyes watering, and she was like, you gonna cry, nigga? You about to cry? And then he was like, no, I'm not about to cry. Then he just walked, so it's like, and that experience can either be really good for a child or really bad for a child. Let me tell you why. That man is built from stones. Like I cannot do what he does.
Right.
But on the other hand, probably emotionally he missed a few cues. And he probably doesn't know how to communicate with certain groups of people because he would see like a soft person as like, you were gonna die, bro.
Right.
Like he would literally see it as the issue that must be addressed now. He would not let you chill. He would bitch at you all day and he whoop your ass. So I was like, you just wouldn't be able to chill around him. Yeah, the cultural shit be going hard, bro. It's like it'd be really hard to connect with your parents sometimes when you. But then the easiest way to do it is just to be like, hey, watch this video. They'll get what I'm saying.
Yeah, man, it's a trip, bro. And it's like, Because, I mean, I don't know if you have these experiences or these thoughts or if anybody watching has these thoughts, but like, even when I was a kid, bro, like, I used to dream, I was like, when I grow up, I'm just gonna fuck off, nigga, I'm gonna be rich as shit, I'm never gonna talk to these bitches again, dog, I'm just going, you know, and just like, well, because for me, it's kind of like, I just think it through, right? So it's like, okay, yeah, do that, then let's say everything works out the way I want to. I'm rich as fuck, you know, whatever, and I'm around a bunch of bad bitches, and I'm like, damn, like, I wish...
I see my parents.
I can see my parents, you know? So, like, yeah, well, eventually I'm probably going to regret that decision, so I'm not going to do it, right? Yeah. But at the same time, it's just, like, how then do we, like, bridge these gaps, right? Because it's, like, there's no way forward in my estimation without being able to have these conversations. Because it's, like, it's almost like Naruto, right? When they're trying to seal Kaguya. And, like, you got the sun seal, I got the moon seal. Neither of us can do this shit on our own.
Right.
We gotta...
do something, nigga.
You know? So, do you have any uplifting, enlightening suggestions for people like me who don't know how to fucking connect to their parents but really want to?
I mean, just have fake conversations, but they'll be real. Just like, I don't know, anytime I really wanted to address my parent on something that I felt like was real deep or even not deep, I just like, I go like, all right, I can either bullshit through this, no, I'm bullshitting through this to ask a real question, or I could just say the question.
Yeah.
So I'll just say the question. She'd be like, hey, why'd you want me to cut my hair so bad? And literally, I just didn't get an answer on my pop, so I knew it was BS. But I'm like, yo, like,
yeah. But at least now they know that you know.
And that's where it happens, because once they start to acknowledge the fact that, okay, you know that I know that I was bullshit, so now we not gonna address it, but next time I probably won't bullshit.
Right.
Yeah, because it's still a parent. You can't really say shit if they do bullshit in your face. Because I still cut my hair. But it's like, it just lets them know that, like, kind of critical. Because you want me to listen to you, but you're not making sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. Look,
that's the easiest way to do it.
I like you talking about being, like, culturally mean and stuff. And so, little bit of backstory about me. My dad died when I was 9, right? So my mom raised me and my sister from then. And we recently started going to therapy. Well, we stopped to because the fucking healthcare insurance didn't take care of it. Fuck y'all niggas. That's why fucking Luigi shooting y'all niggas in the fucking streets, nigga. Y'all not safe. Anyway.
All right.
So, in that process, one thing that she said that I thought was funny, she said that I had said to her a while ago that she was the type of parents that if I was drowning in a pool, she would look at me and say, learn to swim.
Yo!
And it's crazy because actually, literally, right, this was like a couple days ago. I'm trying to send a screenshot on an app, and I'm like, oh, the app won't let me take a screenshot. And she's like, in more words, she was like, my nigga, you are technologically literate. Figure out how to fucking send me that screenshot. She said, that's unacceptable. And I was like, you know what, nigga, you right, nigga. I'm about to fucking lock the fuck in, you know? And so it's like, and then, but my sister in that situation might not have the same reaction. So to your point of being like, it's either really good for a child or really bad for a child, you got to know who you're dealing with, you know? And it goes the same way with your parent. Like, you got to know if your parent's just I don't give a fuck parent, you know? You can't approach them like they're a give a fuck parent because they don't give a fuck.
Yeah, they really don't, bro. My dad one time was asking me to search up, I think, and that shit was... Yeah, like, yo, because the status was just like, it said some bullshit. Like, they used English their best. Like, I couldn't understand it. It was just like, and it was like 3 sentences too. I didn't know what the fuck they were talking. It wasn't even technological phrases. It was like, just like, you are eligible to be admitted,
right? But
you aren't. Like, I'm like, yo,
you can apply, but you can't admit. And
I don't know what the fuck they were talking about. So I was like, yo, he said contact them. I'm like, you just put the number in that's on the letter and here, right?
Right.
And you press enter, and then that's when they just show you. He's like, nah, but you gotta contact somebody. They wouldn't just give you that. I'm like. Because I knew it was start. I'm like, yeah, they only gave me that. So he's just, basically I got yelled at for like 30 minutes for not knowing how to use a computer when that's not That's not even how you use a computer, but who knows? Who knows? He doesn't know that, bro. It's just
Right. And they don't give a fuck, bro. That's the thing.
That's the other thing. Like, you could definitely use these moments to, like, bond with your parents. Because some shit like that, don't get mad at it and then bring it up in an argument, because that's stupid.
Right.
Bring it up during a regular conversation and make it funny. So then they understand,
Right.
so it wasn't that this nigga's fucking stupid. It's that, like, he literally can't summon someone to text. I was like, bro, like, it's no way.
Contact them.
Contact them. You were stupid. I'm like, bro, I'm not stupid, nigga. I can't do it, bro. How can I do something I can't do? It's physically impossible. I don't have anywhere to press to contact anyone. Oh, man. This is the fucking government. They don't like you, nigga. They don't want you to have a...
Right, they don't want you to have a direct
Only
line
if you have money, nigga. That's the only way there's speed line that shit if you have money, bro.
If you're a Chinese businessman, bro, green card approved. Anyway, bro. Yeah, man, listen, there are no easy answers to these questions, and we're not here to find easy answers. We're here to just address the elephant in the room.
Reassess,
recalibrate, you feel me? And just recontextualize your perspective, you know, because I think a lot of times, especially as a younger individual, we don't see our parents as human beings, you know, like they're like different entities. They're like,
and even them, like, sometimes as very, very older beings, they see us as like a piece of paper. If I let a scratch get on this piece of paper, the piece of paper is No, bro. It's okay to take it slow with your kids. Like, please, because you will fuck up a lot of time that you could have been using to, like, Yeah. But yeah, we definitely just...
And then it's the same shit. Like, then you get older, you're like, 67, you're like, damn, like, I wish I could just be cool with my kids, but they, like, they good. I did, like, my parenting job good, but we're not close.
Low-key, them niggas don't like me. And it'd be a shame, because it really be the truth. It'd be some people who'd be like, my fucking mom, man, ain't that bitch. Yeah. And I've really met people like that, and I find it crazy. I'm like, yo. Yeah. But to them, it's like, maybe they were raised in such a way that... New battery?
No, we could just wrap it up.
Alright.
Well, camera just died. This is a terrible segue. We're probably not even gonna get this deep in the John. But listen, guys, to just wrap it up, with some insightful, inspiring, edifying something or other, just be gracious. Be gracious to yourself. Be gracious to your parents. Be gracious to the people who are in your life, because we're all learning. This shit is complicated. This shit is hard. Maybe they were young when they had you. They were still figuring shit out. Maybe they had to raise you by themselves and they were like, how the fuck am I going to raise a little boy? I'm a woman. I don't even know the first thing about, that type of shit. So, it's not that deep. Even when it is deep, you can laugh at it. Because if you don't laugh, you'll cry. And nobody likes to cry,
Yeah, bro.
So with that, you feel me? Just... stay true to yourself. Be gracious with the people in your life. Be grateful that they're in your life, because everything is in your life for a reason. And I'm of the firm belief that God or whatever higher power you subscribe to would not put something in your life that you couldn't handle. So handle it.
And don't be the type of person to realize what you have once it's taken away from you.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely don't be one of those people. It hurts. Like these glasses.
So bad, bro.
I cherish these glasses every time I put these bitches on my face, because I know one day, give or take, I'm gonna die or something. So I'm still in breakup, whatever the fuck. They will not be on my face no more. So every time I wear them, I look the best.
Good, bad, or ugly, or indifferent, man. Just absorb those experiences and be grateful, because it's gonna go one day, and you're gonna wish that you had interacted with it differently. So, with that, y'all, stay tuned for season 5, nigga. We making hits. And stay wavy. Perfect.